Hey guys, film recaps here, and today we're covering a 2009 action thriller film called Ninja Assassin. The movie begins with the Yakuza henchmen with their leader getting a tattoo. The leader complains about the pain he feels while getting the tattoo. As he threatens the artists, one of his subordinates brings in a letter. Opening it reveals the black sand in the envelope. Immediately, the tattoo master recoils in shock as he realizes history is about to repeat itself. The gang leader asks him about his reaction and the tattoo artist tells them a story that happened over a year ago. He says the men involved laughed just as they did and paid with their lives. He also says that he should have died if not for a birth mistake. According to him, his heart was on the right side of his chest, so he was able to escape the ninja's blade. When he shows the Yakuza henchmen his scar, they all laugh hysterically. Just then, one of them lost his life at the spot. The attackers destroy the lights in the room and eliminate everyone in sight. Now that his squad is gone, the gang leader begs for dear life. The tattoo artist warns him that it's pointless to do so. He doesn't listen and is eliminated as well. So was the tattoo master. The next scene begins in the Europol headquarters situated in Berlin. In an office, Mika, a Europol investigator, brings evidence on a ninja-related attack to Maslow, her boss. She asks for an hour to prove to him that the ninja clan exists. Maslow grants her his time and she explains thoroughly how long the ninja clan has been operating, not forgetting to state that the ninja clan always requests 100 pounds of gold in exchange for a man's life. Maslow is interested in the results of Mika's investigation. Maslow is convinced but not completely. Night in Berlin shows Rizzo, a young man with a menacing look at a laundromat putting some sort of item into a washer. Just then, a young woman asks him to help her with a piece of cloth. She smiles admirably at Rizzo. Rizzo immediately sees through her disguise and asks for her clan. She pretends not to understand. Knowing her cover is blown already, she attacks Rizzo. He defends himself and executes her in the process. The laundromat's owner wakes from his slumber after hearing the ruckus. He immediately runs to see what's wrong and sees the young woman in the washer in a state better left unsaid. The next day, Mika and Maslow are seen discussing the ninja case under an outdoor awning. Maslow compliments Mika and she smiles. Meanwhile, Rizzo makes his way to his apartment in Berlin. His help tells him how dark his room is and asks why he keeps it dark there. He replies and says he likes it there. Rizzo then walks into his room and inspects all his weapons. Satisfied that his weapons are still intact, he stares into space and flashes back to his childhood days. In the flashback, an old master is seen talking to a group of children. As he tells the children how honorable it is to be a member of the Ozunu clan, he introduces young Rizzo to the group and tells them to treat him like family. Just then, the older Rizzo flashes out of the flashback and is seen to be preparing ramen. He flashes back again to a lecture their sensei gave them about hunger and thirst. He also told them how the blood in their veins was their body's weaknesses. Their clan master performed the feat of cutting his hand and healing it almost instantaneously. He then tells the young group of children to eat that night to fight again the next morning. The next morning in the flashback, Rizzo is seen before a downed child. The master tells him to be strong and not worry about pain as it only breeds weakness. The older Rizzo snaps out of the flashback as seen working out, and then goes back into the flashback. This time, young Rizzo is seen walking carefully with wounds under his legs. He walks so as not to upset the balance under the floor. He makes the mistake of upsetting the pin. His master punishes him by flogging his legs. Young Rizzo continues the walk to the finish. At night, young Rizzo is seen whining in pain as his legs are hurt badly. Just then, a girl from the same group he's in helps him treat the wounds under his legs. The flashback ends with older Rizzo lying in bed, thinking about his past. Meanwhile, Mika pays Mrs. Abiton a visit about a report her husband wrote a while back. Mrs. Abiton explains how her husband's report caused him to be more paranoid about his security. She says after the report gained some attention, he started installing lights and sensors and cameras all over the house. She says he doesn't want any shadows around the house. She also explains that her husband was a soldier and that he wasn't one to be shaken easily. She recalled that a man came to their house and spoke with her husband. When asked about how her husband died, she said the lights went out and the deed happened. Mrs. Abiton showed Mika some files her husband left behind. Mika accepts them and takes them to her home. At home, Mika plays a tape she found in the files. In the tape, Rizzo was seen staring at the camera lens and the scene ends there. Meanwhile, Rizzo is seen training immensely with his weapons. At the end of his training, he flashes back to when, as a teenager, he was fighting another colleague. His colleague, whose name was Takeshi, by throwing flames at his eyes and striking him in the head. The Ozunu clan master shows Rizzo what true pain really is and walks away. Screaming at the top of his lungs, Rizzo is thrown into what seems like isolation. The next morning shows the clan master meeting Rizzo already meditating in the room he locked him in. He commends Rizzo and continues the day. In the present day, Mika is visited in her office by an agent from an unmentioned agency. The agent requests to ask Mika some questions. He inquires about their unusually usual lunch dates she and Agent Maslow seem to be having. The agent, who was identified to be Agent Zebransky, warns Mika of Agent Maslow's case of stress. Mika meets Maslow in a public place and the duo talks about their plans moving forward now that their own agency's onto them. Unknowing to them, they're being watched. They both walk away unharmed and Mika makes it home that night. She takes a look at the documents of Mrs. Abiton and learns more of the ninja clan's true existence. The next morning shows Rizzo walking in a market. He flashes back to the moment he caught his teenage crush, Kiriko, breaking the rules of the clan. He warns her and she says she doesn't care about their rules. His colleague reminds him of his heart and instills some life into his already stone-cold heart. After the flashback, Rizzo is seen practicing his shuriken throws blindfolded. Rizzo flashes back yet again to another moment he was seen fighting with Takeshi. This time, he's blindfolded. After an intense fight, he pushes back Takeshi and launches him in the air. Teenage Rizzo wins the fight this time. At night, the lady ninja is seen thinking about something. Rizzo is also thinking about something as well. The next morning shows the lady ninja, Kiriko, beating another colleague. She wins the fight and the clan master asks her to cut him so he knows the meaning of failure. She refuses and gets cut instead by the clan master and is sent to their clan's penitentiary. At night, Rizzo is seen giving Kiriko some water secretly. He asks her why she did what she did and there was no tangible response. The next morning shows Kiriko and Rizzo sharpening their weapons. At night, the heavens pour down rain and Kiriko tries to escape the clan. Rizzo tries to stop her but she's already made up her mind. She tries to bring Rizzo with her but he refuses. She escapes the prison. The present day shows old Rizzo picking up a phone call from a Japanese caller. He instantly knows what he's supposed to do and runs off. Maslow visits Mika in the parking lot and informs her of how much heat is on him. He gives Mika a firearm and tells her to leave town for her own safety. Mika reaches her home and finds out that the power's out in her apartment. Mika notices the coincidence and immediately gets suspicious. She slowly makes her way to her apartment upstairs. She opens her door and hears something moving in her apartment. She walks to a room in her apartment and sees a familiar letter containing black sand. Immediately she sees the black sand put out of the letter. She's assaulted by ninjas in the dark. Thankfully, her life was saved by another ninja who stopped them. Mika fires her gun at the silhouettes and fights immensely in the shadows. She then comes to the realization that she's helpless and she watches them fight it out. Her savior wins the fight, they both have a talk and she learns more about their existence. They're cut short as more assassins join the fight to take Mika's life. Takeshi is seen leading the ninja group meant to finish Mika off. "Run, brother, run," Takeshi says before a flashback which reveals young Kiriko getting caught in her escape attempt was shown. In the flashback, Kiriko was tied to a pole and executed at the spot for trying to escape the clan's boundaries. The present day shows Mika and Rizzo in her car escaping their ninja pursuers. The duo introduces themselves and Mika asks him why he's after his own clan. This question makes Rizzo remember an assassination he carried out with his Ozunu clan master by his side. According to the clan master, the man was wearing a gold watch. He told Rizzo to bring the watch to him, of which he proceeds. After a long and tiring fight with the heavy man, he wins the fight and removes the gold watch from his hands. The next scene shows wounded Rizzo holding a golden watch on top of a building. He extends the gold watch to his clan master who later tells him to keep the watch. Just then, Kiriko, who tried to escape the clan, was brought to his face. The Ozunu clan master orders Rizzo to eliminate Kiriko to become a true Ozunu. Unable to bring himself to eliminate Kiriko, Rizzo cuts his clan master with his kusarigama. Enraged, the clan master orders the assassins present to end Rizzo's life. Rizzo almost ended up losing his life as he fell down the tall building. Luckily, a swimming pool saves his life and he flashes back to the present day. Rizzo tells Mika that she needs to help him find Ozunu. They both make their way to an apartment in Berlin. Mika has a change of clothes and Rizzo tries to hide her scent. Mika calls Maslow and assures him of Rizzo's loyalty to them and asks Maslow for help. They both set up a location for a meet. Rizzo and Mika later meet up with Maslow, who previously set a trap for the both of them. The lights turn on and agents rush in to arrest Rizzo. Maslow tells Mika that he's just following orders and that there are no hard feelings. In a safe house somewhere in Berlin, Mika argues with Maslow about his actions. He calls her up to a room, tells her to clear the room, and explains his suspicions to her, telling her how serious the higher-ups are taking this ninja case. He gives Mika a beacon and tells her to activate it whenever she needs his help. Mika pays Rizzo a visit in his cell and gives him some water. She tells him Maslow is on his side and Rizzo tells her it's already too late. Mika runs to warn Maslow but it's already too late. The lights go off and everyone is alert. Immediately, Mika makes her way to Rizzo's cell. Rizzo warns them of the impending danger. However, things take a drastic turn as the assassins begin their work. They eliminate all the guards. Mika, fortunately, finds the key to Rizzo's cell and frees him just in time. Rizzo eliminates a ninja as he's freed and leads Mika with him to the right path. In the corridor, Rizzo tells Mika to wait for him as he defends both of them against some assassins. Meanwhile, the other guards are still fighting against the shuriken-throwing assassins in the computer room. Fortunately for Mika, she's able to make it to her car upstairs, leaving only Rizzo and the other assassins to fight. Rizzo meets Takeshi and his ninja squad and engages in a hot fight. Rizzo successfully defends himself against all the ninjas attacking him. Wounded, Rizzo makes his way to Mika's car and is attacked on the way by more ninjas. Meanwhile, Mika's in her car waiting for Rizzo as she's attacked by a ninja. Scared, she turns on her car and drives. She successfully shoots his leg and feigns him off. Just as she was driving off the parking lot, shurikens were hurled towards her car, destroying her windshield. Luckily, she's able to escape the fight. Rizzo successfully defends himself against the assassins and makes it to the roads of Berlin. The ninja clan pursues him and through the oncoming vehicles and catches up to him. Takeshi fights Rizzo and cuts him in the stomach. Mika helps Rizzo out and drives him away. They both find a motel to rest up. Mika thanks Rizzo for saving her life while he sleeps and activates the beacon Maslow gave her. The task force arrives and Mika is seen alone in the motel. Rizzo's gone. Rizzo is seen in a moving container as he heals himself with the technique their clanmaster used. The vehicle stops and Rizzo is presented to the Ozunu clanmaster. He reminds Rizzo how disappointed he was for the shame Rizzo brought his clan. Rizzo is set to be executed that night. On the execution spot, Rizzo spits out a beacon which pinged the location of the clan's whereabouts. The agency arrives just in time to eliminate the clan. The assassins defend their home and a hot fight ensues. Rizzo faces Takeshi in a hot fight and wins the fight narrowly. He then proceeds to fight the leader of the assassin clan. He finds him and engages him in a duel. The two engage in a fight to the death with Rizzo almost losing his life in the process. Mika proceeds to help Rizzo and successfully does so. However, she is stabbed by the Ozunu clanmaster. This enrages Rizzo and forces him to use a secret technique known only to the clan. He successfully eliminates the Ozunu clanmaster and carries Mika to safety. Thankfully, Mika survives the attack and everyone goes home. Rizzo revisits his old home and remembers Kiriko. He climbs the fence for the first time and stares into the horizon.